Good afternoon, everybody, on this freezing day here in the Northeast. No, it's about 100 degrees, and we have someone here who's hot ever since he started doing our program. This is Mr. Anthony Fontaine. He lost 50 pounds in 60 days. He said that's not even the best part, so we'll get to the best part shortly. But just by way of introduction, let me pat myself on the back, because we only have great people who come on and get interviewed. And Anthony's another in a series of extremely positive, warm, friendly, good-hearted people. And in fact, Anthony, every time you come into the office, we end up talking about music, and we talk about things that are totally not weight-related. And in your honor, I've worn this shirt today.
Oh, perfect.
You see that?
I do see it, and I dig it. I have one. I think I might find it and run and go get it. It's a tie-dye retro, like a 70s look one.
That's what this is.
That one, but
this is that's what this is. Yeah, it's the same idea.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Anthony is not only a very nice man, but he's also a man of wonderful taste and intelligence, and he knows that nobody ever did hard blues-based rock like Led Zeppelin did it. Is that correct?
I agree with that. Yes, I stand by that.
We just got a heart. Someone likes the fact, I guess, that I'm wearing a Zeppelin shirt in your honor.
Oh, perfect. It wouldn't be Thea, would it?
Very possibly. We're going to find out. So let's get into it a little bit, Anthony. You came into our office. You had done the program before years ago. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And then what brought you back this time?
What brought me back this time was, I guess, initially I would say frustration with learning the hard way. There it is right there in a nutshell. Frustration with learning the hard way, with what I kind of already knew when I walked in the office, which was, I can't do this my own way. And that's what I said, it's like, I thought I could modify it, maybe eat right, but still like not follow the steps. Like you have 6 phases to this thing. And no, you just simply have to follow exactly the way it's laid out. And now that I'm probably at the tail end of phase 4. And I have to say, I have not thought about going back to bad behaviors. I have not eaten wrong. I'll call it wrong for lack of a better way to say it. I'm eating what I actually choose to eat. And I'm sort of saving a day when I'll maybe visit something again, like pizza.
Right. It's funny, Anthony, because regarding not deviating, I tell people all the time, I say your intelligence will work against you. I forbid you to think. Your job is simply to execute. It makes things very, very simple. If it's on your list, you can eat it. If it's not on your list, you can't.
I'm too arrogant. If you had said that to me at the start of the program, I would have went like this.
We would have butted heads.
He don't know me.
Right. A lot of people think that they can make exceptions. And listen, you can't. If you did the program at 90%, you would still get results, but the results would not be as good as when you do it at 100%.
I wouldn't know how to dissect the program in terms of percentages, because if you want to know, let's see, I did 2 phases out of 6. So I don't know percentages. That sounds like about a third. So I did 33% of it, and it failed. So maybe percentages is the way to go. I'm at the end of stage 4, maybe at stage 5 now. So maybe I'm at 66% of the way.
Well, that's this particular round. Yeah. As you know, the program, it goes in rounds, and
I really thought I did 100% of the program when I lost the weight. I lost 100 pounds.
Well, the important thing is that you put in 100% effort. That's what matters. And that you surrender to the process, because there are people who do fight the process. And from what you're describing, that was you at first. And then what occurred to you that you decided, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore?
It's just, I guess it's a repeat. You learn eventually if you're lucky. All right. So in all honesty, when I came to see you that time, it was my 3rd time doing the program. So the first 2 times I had the same notion of diving in, listening, following the plan up till I lost the weight that I wanted. And that's when the switch went off. And I said, okay, I'm done. No, I wasn't done. And I knew after the 2nd time that I blew it, that I was going to have to really get serious. If I was going to come back at all, it was going to have to be with the idea that I'm going to have to follow it the way it's written and don't play games.
Yeah, too many people have that experience, Anthony. What do you think happens just mentally and emotionally when you lose some weight and then you go back to your old habits?
Mentally, for me, it was, I'm a nurse. I know what goes on in the body. I lost weight. Perfect. I know how to keep it off, right? There's so much that I don't know as a nurse that I learned from the program, which is more related to foods and nutrition, which I have some background on too, but it isn't even anything close to what's going on in this program.
Yeah.
And I think there's where the disconnect lies for me mentally. Emotionally, well, come on, when you're skipping, clicking your heels and you're able to move around and you have energy, all you can think of is good thoughts, which leads you to the bad decisions. But from that moment, you say to yourself, I got this.
Yes.
And you're only at phase 2.
That's right. Yeah, I'm done, you say.
Yes.
Right. And you just gave a perfect example of intelligence working against you.
There it is.
You think you could outthink the program, but there's no reason to because it's already laid out for you.
Initially, I got to be honest, it was even scarier for me to come at all. When I first heard about the program, I came in for a consult, and they did some kind of scan with my hand and then came up with a list of foods that I have to eat.
Right.
And I said, there's nothing in my medical training that tells me that this is even possible. So, and every time I tried to find out answers about it, it was always some proprietary thing that I wasn't able to really know about. So I said, okay, blind faith. That's what got me over that first hump, because it was all research. Doing the research really is what brought me in the first place, because nobody had a bad thing to say about the program in terms of does it work to lose the weight.
Yes.
Nobody.
Yeah. And in terms
of
of
naysayers that have their reasons why they say it's no good because of this or that. But when you looked at the results and the people that are telling you they took the program and how it worked, it was always a win.
Right. Right. And just for clarity's sake, Anthony, we've upgraded, as you know, we've upgraded the evaluation that we do. And now it's a fancy schmancy artificial intelligence algorithm. And basically you put in information, you put in everything from your health history to your digestion, your family's health history, your body type, and it takes it all, puts it into this algorithm, and then it spits out the perfect program for you. And then, of course, every time you come in, now we use our clinical experience, and then we're able to make adjustments as you go along.
Aha. So it's even more scientific than it's ever been.
Well, I guess it is.
With the improvement that you mentioned,
Yes. And the reason that I bring that up is because otherwise it would be completely turnkey and we wouldn't even be necessary. But that process of coming in every week and learning and understanding, and plus us seeing the data from when we do your body composition analysis, and then we're able to make tweaks that are beneficial for you.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I'd like to get into now, because you mentioned the energy that you got as a result of doing the program. So let's rewind the clock and let's go back several months before you did the program. What was your health and your energy and your attitude like?
I was never a pessimist, and I'm always an optimist. So I carry that with me, thankfully, wherever I go. Even when I was working against heavy weight, keeping me in one place, seemingly not wanting to move. It led to kind of like I was depressed, I guess. I mean, I've never really considered myself anybody that was experiencing depression because I'm so optimistic and all that. But I have to honestly say, and it took doing the program, which led me to have that energy, which led me to clean some areas of my house that I've been really neglecting. And there's where it hit me that I was actually depressed. I was letting my kitchen table become overrun for, I can't tell you how long it's been because it would be embarrassing, but got to be to the point where it was so disgusting for me, because that's not how I am, that I found the energy and now found the motivation to really do it. And I got it all back the way it needs to be. And I have to be honest, that's big for me because I'm very organized that way.
Well, I'll confess something to you now that we're sharing, which is that I've had times in my life where I've gotten so frustrated with myself by not throwing dishes, by not cleaning up the dishes, that I've literally just taken them and thrown them all away.
I have a friend that does that.
Is that right?
Say to him, Mike, you know what? You better be wealthy one day because you're just throwing everything away. He goes,
you don't have to be wealthy. Paper plates aren't that expensive.
That's true.
But getting back to what you're saying, I love that you found such energy and clarity that you're able to confront your life in a better way.
and things that I didn't really know were going on. They were insidious.
Yeah.
They were, I don't know if they were playing hide and seek with me or if it was me in denial and I knew subconsciously, but it was depression.
Right.
And I think also looking in the mirror and seeing how big I got, I said to myself too, you know, are you depressed? You know, like it's like a sign of depression, just being overweight. Because if you really care about your body and your health, you really wouldn't let yourself get to those points. And I see that in other people who run their lives that way.
Right. And I got to tell you something, you know, Anthony, there are studies that have been done where they say that people who are overweight are happier or no less happy than people who aren't. And I think that's total BS. Having been 100 pounds overweight myself, it's impossible for that to be the case. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're overweight like that, when you wake up in the morning, what's your first thought?
Ugh, I hurt. I can't move.
That's
I
right.
gotta go on a diet. Who knows? Any one of the above.
Yeah. And then you get up and you go to the bathroom, and now you have to see yourself in the mirror. And then what's your thought?
Who is that?
Right. Right. You say, who is that? This is not me. And then you grieve who you used to be, who you no longer are, right?
Sometimes I'm good at blocking it. And I came across old photos and there they were. I was like, I used to look like that.
Yeah. Right. That's not you at your core. You're a person who has great energy, who has a great attitude. And then you found yourself in a situation where you didn't even want to look at yourself in the mirror. And then, of course, putting on clothes, that's a whole other trauma, isn't it?
Oh, it's been a trauma probably my entire life. I've never worn the clothes that I really, really like. And, you know, part of this program, you have to write your little mantra that you say to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was, you ready for one of mine? It was, I will one day wear the clothes that I choose to wear.
Got it.
I'll tell you, the other one was, watch out, Jason Momoa, here I come. But
oh, you said your goals. You said your goals really high. Do you want to be Aquaman?
Huh?
Do you want to be Aquaman?
Oh yeah, no, but I between him and The Rock, that physique is perfect, and somewhere in the middle, right there.
Okay, got it. Well, we have some work to do, but hey, they probably didn't start out like they are now either.
No, but yeah, you know, like I said, I'm an optimist. It's a goal. It's there. It's lofty, but
absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. You know, we do this every time we have someone on. We do a quality control test. So our mission is to create happy, healthy, hopeful people who have reached their ideal weight and have a renewed zest for life.
Huh.
So let's check in with that.
Seen. Yeah.
Are you happier now than you were before you started?
Over the moon, yes.
Awesome. Okay, good. Number 2, are you healthier?
Absolutely.
Good.
I know it. Just my doctor, my A1C actually came down. I wasn't at diabetes level, but I was approaching 7, and I'm down under 6. I'm like 5.6 or something now. And he's like, great. He loves seeing the report, you know.
Yeah. And that's super important to me because diabetes is nasty. I have a good friend who has terrible diabetes. It's just a nasty disease.
It is so reversible if you allow yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the other part about it that's amazing, but it's back to them comfort foods, and it's tough.
Right. The literature all talks about that, how reversible diabetes is. And we make no claims, no promises,
right.
But
you can't,
have we seen
somebody
it?
bound to sue you if you did.
Yeah, exactly.
But you didn't try either. How about that one?
Yes. Have we seen it a number of times? Yes. Okay. Are you more hopeful than you were?
Yes, because I hope to be fitting into those clothes that I really want someday. And
there you
I know
go.
I'm getting in that direction.
Good. And you haven't reached your ideal weight yet because they're not considering, to hire you as a superhero yet.
Correct.
But do you have a renewed zest for life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because just the idea that I can walk around, which footnote, nobody knew, I have a broken spine. I have like vertebrae that have fractured, and I have the herniated disc situation going on. So all that already makes it difficult for me to walk at length.
Yeah.
But when it's only like 2 minutes in and I'm winded and tired and I want to sit down, that's not my back. Now I'm able to go, I don't know, sometimes 5 or 10 minutes, 15. It's still limited by my back. But just knowing that I don't have that windedness going on,
right?
That's fantastic for me.
Got it. Okay, that's fantastic. And have you noticed that you have less pain also?
Absolutely. I just had dental work done. I said to them, I don't even want anything. He said, if you feel it, you can take Tylenol or ibuprofen. They wanted to write a
Well,
prescription.
that's a little different, isn't it? When they're drilling in your mouth. I mean,
Well, not no. I mean, their implants going in, so there's like it's a long, ongoing, long pain. Like there's things that they do to you. So anyway, ibuprofen's been working. I don't complain about pain at all anymore, really.
Okay, good. And how might your renewed zest for life express itself? What do you plan on doing? What experiences would you like to have now that you're getting lean?
I possibly will clean the garage very soon. That's big for me because that looks like any hoarder's garage would look. And I know that my car could actually fit in there.
I knew someone who used to say that every once in a while it's good to have a house fire.
I can see the logic in that.
Absolutely.
Just make sure you squirrel away your really good valuables in a nice fire safe box.
Yes, and then you could have that fire. So Jackie commented. She said she loves the positive vibes. I assume she's speaking about you.
Who, me? Couldn't be.
Hey, you're a school nurse, and as you mentioned, have the students or the other faculty said anything to you?
Not so much this time around because it was late in the school year when I did it, and with COVID, and we're not.
Oh, sure, yeah, things are odd.
A lot of students are virtual. It was a really, really strange year. But when I did the program the very first time, everybody, what are you doing? What's going on? Yeah. And I was all gung ho on it, and I was promoting it, and I was telling you got to do it. It's great, great. That was before I decided I was going to drop off because I was following everything right in the beginning there, and for the first two phases. But people did. They noticed, and they wanted to know what it was.
Right. Okay. So we have now a goal for the upcoming school year. When you go back in September, you have the opportunity to be there or close to there again.
You're correct, because if I continue where I'm at, and knowing that I'm going to be doing, I have to do another round, it's coming, and they're going to see it because I was pretty large, and now I don't feel so large. I went down a size in a shirt. And little by little, things are going down. My pants are falling down.
Yes, you have to be careful about mooning people. That happened to my mother when she was on the program. She had
close
company over.
I'm walking down the hall, and out of nowhere, I just felt the sense that it was going to fall on the very next step. So I grabbed my hip real quick, and then I sashayed quickly to the men's room. I said, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, these days in school, you do not want to be exposing yourself. There is very little discretion there. Yeah, it's one time and you're out.
It's done. Yeah, it's game over.
All right. So one thing I do want to mention to you, and for anyone else who's listening, Anthony, you're eventually going to reach your goal weight. More importantly than your goal weight is your goal fat percentage, body composition, right?
Exactly.
And when you do, it's very important to continue to stay engaged with the office. And I'm not saying that in a self-serving way. I mean, I only half am saying that in a self-serving way. But we find that the people who do the best are the people who stay engaged. There's a rule that I heard one time from a guru type. And it essentially goes, don't disconnect from power. You don't disconnect from a power source.
It makes perfect sense. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that from my perspective, because like I said, this is my third time doing the program. Yeah. The first two times I did the program were not with you and your office, and I did not stay connected. And they didn't connect with me either. They weren't reaching out to me the way your office does. And I am staying connected with you in your office longer than I did with the other office ever.
Right. Good.
And that is also what I attribute to the success of the whole thing working.
Listen, we have Jackie's listening now, and her job is to essentially stalk people. Her job is to engage with people and to remind them about what's possible, because isn't it amazing the difference in attitude from when you've accomplished something to when you go off, when you fall off?
It's true. It's like someone takes the wind out of your sails. And like I said, it's insidious. You may not even notice that it's going on. Yeah. But you're losing that drive, because like the mode that I'm in now, the way everything, like you said, there's hope. It's like there's something you're striving for. Mm-hmm. Everything's looking up. You got the energy, you got the motivation. But when that's all taken away, and when you leave the connection, that all does start to dwindle because you can't sustain that on your own if you have unless you have a reason to do it. And being connected isn't the reason, but being connected helps you remind you of the reason and stay with the reason.
And the funny thing about it, Anthony, is that, and I've thought a lot about this. I mean, this is all I do. I think about this stuff all the time. So what's funny about it is how it's mental, it's emotional, and it's physiological, right? So you take someone who's 100 pounds overweight, they know they have a problem, but they don't know the degree. So using myself again as an example, I remember when my doctor told me that I was obese and that she was recommending the surgery for me, I was offended. I did not see myself like that. I weighed 325 pounds. And then once I lost the weight, it became so obvious to me. And I think part of the reason is that mirrors will lie to you.
Sure.
And part of the reason is that we're in a sugar-induced fog, basically, when we're morbidly obese like that, right? We're just not as clear-headed as we should be.
And I tell you, I would never have believed it if somebody just spelled it out that simple to me in the beginning, because I would think, what are you talking about? Sugar is not like hypnotizing me, but really, in all honesty, when you read about what it does with the transmitters in your brain,
that's right,
it is hypnotizing you.
It makes you fuzzy. You just don't get it. You don't see as clearly.
You make the choices that you know you shouldn't make. Like, you always have the rational thought, no, I shouldn't have that. But how quick is it just discarded in favor of, why not? You're an adult. You're in control of your life. Whoops. And there you go with the bad choice.
There you go. It's over. So here's what Jackie says. Jackie says, our relationship will never end. FinTech creates lasting connections. That's not too creepy, is it?
I don't take it creepy, because she's right. Because in a way, even if I never saw any of you guys ever again, there's like an indelible kind of a mark that was left there, you know, because I know how serious and important it was. And it worked this time.
But it's just funny that I told you that Jackie
planning to never go away,
stalking people. Yeah, I said she's the one who's supposed to stalk people, and I was, saying that in jest, and she's taking it seriously. I'm a little frightened right now.
She's gonna let you know exactly what you meant.
You're gonna find her at your door. All right, listen, Anthony, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate.
Tell you something. I spoke to a friend of mine about pizza. He's on his own little nutrition thing where he's very learned in reading, and he doesn't have a college education, but this is what he's told me. If I want to enjoy pizza, and I'm going to run it by you, and I'm going to ask you what you think.
Yes.
He said, because he doesn't eat any bread, any rice, any pasta, any starches, just the same way we don't. But he said he takes a spoon and scrapes the cheese and sauce and eats that. It's cheese and it's tomato sauce.
That's correct. Now, as a pizza lover, I can tell you that officially speaking, that's not pizza.
I would say it's not, because, crust is a third of this equation. But
that's right.
It gets enough to get the monkey off your back.
Yes. If that ends up being a coping strategy. And remember, one of the things that we're doing on the program in what we call the reset phase is we're testing out foods to see how our body responds to them. So your body may do okay with cheese. I hear it tapping.
So far it has, because I'm actually, what does that mean? Am I reset phase is stage 5, or is that 3?
4.
4. That's where I'm at. I started with cottage cheese because you guys were touting that that's a good one to start with, and I had no problem with it. So I started having a little more, like maybe a cup and a half. And the next day, weighing 2-3 days in a row, nothing, without trying it again, and no gain. In fact, I've been actually sliding a little low because I'm not having enough calories some days, so it's okay. And I went to other cheeses. Swiss cheese, no problem. Mozzarella, no problem. What else? Cheddar, no problem. I'm not abusing it, but I'm able to have something with it, and it doesn't.
And as long as you have that data, then you can act accordingly.
I'm looking forward to pizza and a spoon.
Yes, but one thing you need to know, and everyone needs to know this, is pretty much every taste experience that you want can be gotten using healthier foods. Jackie herself is a whiz. So is Jennifer. I mean, if you have questions,
I saw a new flyer in your office that I never noticed. It talks about this teriyaki you can make with that protein liquid. I forgot the name already.
Coconut aminos.
Thank you.
Yes, it's delicious.
It tastes like teriyaki. That's about.
Buy it, indulge, enjoy.
What do you recommend I put it on first?
A spoon.
Right in your mouth and eat it? No.
You can. It's very tasty, but no, you can put it on anything from chicken. I put it on rice cauliflower. I mean, it makes everything. If you put that and you put the pink sea salt on a shoe, it's going to taste good. An old used shoe, it'll work. Jack says shrimp and broccoli, so there you go.
Oh, shrimp. Yeah, I could see that being great. All right.
Yes, it'll be delicious.
If you don't mind, I'm going to take her advice. I'm going to do it on shrimp first.
Take her advice. I tell Jackie all the time, she's a good cooker, I'm a good eater.
That used to be what I would say, but I'm starting to tip the scales the other way now.
There you go. You can be a cooker and
over. They were like, when did you become such a good cook? And I didn't make anything special, but they enjoyed it.
Absolutely. All right, good. Listen, Anthony, I want to thank you for coming on. We always look forward to having you in the office and coming on here. This has just been like our conversations in the office when we're not talking about music.
That's true.
And Led Zeppelin. All right, this has been great. And
next time I talk to you, I'm going to bring that T-shirt with me. I'll show it to you.
Bring the T-shirt. You may not know this, but you've done actually a great service for anyone who's listening, because as you know, there are people out there who don't think that they can accomplish their goals.
It's true. I know. I mean, I was one of them. And even if I saw me now, future me, past me, saw me, I would have not believed me.
Right. Is there anything else that
get burned? You have to really learn it on your own.
So, unfortunately, right, we're like the kid who puts his hand on the barbecue and then keeps going back and doing it again.
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. I swear. Well, Bill W. said it best. I mean, you gotta go with the programs the way they work. You know who Bill W. is, right?
No.
Bill W. is one of the founders of AA.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good. Well, fortunately, I've never needed to know that information.
I learned it along the way, you might say.
I'm still young, though. You never know.
I teach health class. It's in there.
Listen, thank you again, Anthony, and I'll see you in the office next week.
You got it.
Have a great 4th.
Bye, everybody, and whoever might be watching.
Take care.
Bye.